State House of Assembly, Olakunle Oluomo, was on Monday arraigned before a federal high court sitting in Oke-Mosan, Abeokuta. Premium Times reports that the former speaker was docked alongside two other career officers of the State Assembly, Dayo Samuel and Adeyemo Adediji, before Justice O.O. Okeke. Oluomo and the two others were sued by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, over alleged misappropriation of public funds amounting to 2.5 billion naira. He allegedly committed the fraud while serving as the Speaker of the Assembly in 2022. However, after the throw entered the dock, the court discovered that the counsel to the EFCC was absent. The court therefore adjourned the case to 29th February and 1st March. And now the Catholic Pontiff, Pope Francis, has said those who criticize his decision to allow blessings for same-sex couples would come to understand it over time, except for Africans, whom he referred to as a special case. Reuters reports that Pope Francis, in an interview with Italian newspaper La Stampa yesterday, said Africans perceived homosexuality negatively from a cultural perspective. In his words, those who protest vehemently belong to small ideological groups. A special case is Africans. For them, homosexuality is something bad from a cultural point of view, and they don't tolerate it. But in general, I trust that gradually everyone will be reassured by the spirit of the Fiducia Supplicans Declaration by the Dicastery for the Doctrine of Faith. It aims to include, not divide. Last month, a Vatican document called Fiducia Supplicans Supplicating Trust, which allowed blessings for same-sex couples, sparked widespread debate in the Catholic Church and around the world. However, the Vatican made it clear that blessings should not be included in regular church ceremonies or linked to civil unions or weddings. The Catholic Bishop Conference of Nigeria, CBCN, has announced that Catholic churches within the country would not perform blessings for same-sex couples. That would go against God's law, the teachings of the Church, the laws of our nation, and the cultural sensibilities of the people, the CBCN said in a statement. Moving on now, barely 6 months following the last round of layoffs, Microsoft's leadership is preparing to lay off approximately 8% of its workforce, totaling over 22,000 employees in the first quarter of 2024. In an evident struggle for survival, Microsoft plans to reduce its workforce, as stated by Chief Executive Officer Phil Spencer. In the memo, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer described the impending layoffs primarily affecting the gaming department as painful. The layoffs are intending to minimize areas of overlap. It should be noted that Microsoft last announced significant layoffs a year ago, impacting 10,000 employees. And now South Africa's ruling party, the African Nations Congress, ANC, has suspended former President Jacob Zuma. A decision followed Zuma's launching of a rival political party. ANC, however, vowed to launch a legal challenge. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula announced the decision on Monday, declaring that Zuma and others whose conduct is in conflict with our values and principles will find themselves outside the African National Congress. According to BBC report, Zuma's new party, Umkhonto we Sizwe, MK, meaning Spare of the Nation, shares a name with the ANC's former armed wing he once served in. Zuma, who served as South Africa's president for 9 years, currently faces corruption charges for which he denied wrongdoing. Moving on, controversial musician and activist Seun Anikulapo Kuti has accused operatives of the Nigerian police force of being responsible for major kidnapping cases in Nigeria. Speaking on the recent surge in abduction cases in a viral updated video which emerged on Tuesday, Seun bluntly declared them, or rather the men of the Nigerian police force, as the biggest group of kidnappers in the country. He said his revelation was from first-hand information he got while in detention at a police facility in Panti, Lagos last year for assaulting a police officer. And now to sports news. Ivory Coast overcame their poor group stage performance to knock out defending champions Senegal in a penalty shootout, winning 5-4 and securing a spot in the Africa Cup of Nations quarterfinals against either Mali or Burkina Faso. The last 16 match held in Yamoussoukro was a nail-biter that ended 1-1 after extra time. Senegal's Habib Diallo opened the scoring in the 4th minute, and Ivory Coast Frank Kessié equalized with a penalty kick just 4 minutes before the end of regular play. Kessié then emerged as the hero in the penalty shootout, scoring the decisive goal after Moussa Niakate's miss for Senegal. And still on sports news, former Super Eagles midfielder Etim Essien has encouraged the Nigerian national football team to secure a victory against Angola in the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations AFCON quarter-final match in Ivory Coast. Essien said the match is of particular significance as it serves as a tribute to the late Sam Okparaji, who tragically passed away during a match against Angola in 1990. Okparaji, then 25, collapsed and died while playing in a World Cup qualifier at the National Stadium, Lagos on August 12th. The match against Angola, which ended in a 1-0 win for Nigeria, was marred by the untimely death of the talented midfielder. The same day also witnessed the death of 5 fans due to overcrowding in the 40,000 capacity stadium. The Super Eagles, having recently defeated Cameroon 2-0 in the round of 16, now faces Angola in the quarterfinals of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. On that note, we end the news on Leadership TV. For more of our news stories, you can log on to the website www.leadership.ng. Many thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080 3688 6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.